took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
Oh, it was.
Good. Had she lived, she would have suffered more intensely and much longer.
Welcome everyone, Christine here on Serious Gaming with the discussion on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, specifically on the subject of Letho of Galit, one of the best written characters by CD Projekt RED, specifically in Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings. And you can get them in Witcher 3, but how? That's the question. Well, first you need to either simulate or import a save game from The Witcher 2 into The Witcher 3. Now, if you start a fresh game and you don't have a save, you can simulate one. You press yes, simulate one, and you will have a bunch of dialogue decisions. The main thing with regards to Letho and other characters is you want to keep people alive. Basically, that's the way you should be going about things when it comes to that. If you don't know anything about Witcher 2, just decide that, hey, we kept people alive, and that creates opportunities, not just with Letho, but with another character as well. In particular, though, her role is significantly more reduced, though impactful in her own way. Now, if you are importing a save from The Witcher 2, specifically if you're a PC gamer, you have a PC game save, and you're importing that from The Witcher 2 into The Witcher 3, then you will need an autosave from the end of The Witcher 2. Because at the ending of The Witcher 2, you have this big, grand, epic conversation between Letho and Geralt. Check it out, the link in the description below. You have this big, epic conversation with Letho, and after that conversation, you get the decision whether or not you want to fight Letho or spare him. And you will need to spare him during this conversation in order to get him in The Witcher 3. The key point here is, though, there is an autosave after that decision and after the ending cinematic of the game. There is an autosave, and you want to import specifically that autosave. If you import another save, he will be dead, and you will not get the opportunity to get them. So that's the important bit. So you could say that there's no real point in importing a save from The Witcher 2 into The Witcher 3 because it creates some complications. You're reliant on an autosave as opposed to being able to decide yourself in a conversation in a game that, yes, I do want Letho alive. The only key point is with a tattoo that Geralt may have from The Witcher 2 into The Witcher 3 that may have. The reason that tattoo is significant, well, it's a pretty nice quest that you get in The Witcher 2 in Flotsam, and it has emotional value for Geralt. I've done a video on this quite a long time ago. Check that out as well if you're interested. The whole thing with the tattoo, I remember being very active on the Witcher forums and making a thread on this particular subject. It's like, hey, can we get the tattoo from Witcher 2 to Witcher 3 because it kind of has an emotional impact for Geralt. It's kind of part of this questline. It's a way to remember some characters that did die. So, and the community manager, the main community manager for the Witcher community, Marcin, or the main community manager for CD Projekt, Marcin, took note of that, brought it to the developers. At least this is what he posted on the forums back then. Brought it to the developers, and they introduced a way. So if you care about the tattoo, you need to import an actual save. There's no other way to get it. I imagine there's some mods that would enable it, would give it an enable state or some save game editor, but the easiest way is to import the save. Just keep in mind, you want that autosave from the end of The Witcher 2 after the end cinematic. Just check your save folder, be careful about that, and that's the best way of doing it. Now, once you have a save state with Letho alive in The Witcher 3, you need to actually get them through a quest. You get a quest in Lindenvale from an old woman, which is called the Fall of House Riordan. Now, you go to this old manor, and she hires you to clear monsters. But there, you will meet Letho, who is being hunted by bounty hunters, and this will open up another quest.
Your reflexes have slowed. Hope you're not hurt. Those were my traps.
Letho.
Yeah, didn't expect to see you either. You one of them?
Who's them?
To the Emperor, mercenaries. To themselves, bounty hunters. To me, ordinary sons of bitches.
Well, got nothing to fear from me. Took a job from an old woman. Supposed to get rid of the monsters here.
Did that already. Count on you remembering that when you collect your pay.
Who'd you piss off this time?
Emperor just decided to get rid of me. I'm an inconvenient witness after all. I've run into loads of men out to kill me ever since I left Loch Muin.
Now I understand all the traps.
Gotten real careful.
For good reason. Don't look a bit like lost travelers.
They're not. Means Lewis sold me out.
Lewis?
Old friend, kinda. Did a few jobs together once, a while past. Lewis recommended this place to me.
You've grown careless. Let yourself be drawn into a trap.
Nah. Only traps here are the ones I set. Gotta get rid of them. Coming?
Lead the way. We got a plan of attack?
Yeah. Improvise.
Now that's separate from the one that the old woman gave you, so you can complete both of them. You should complete both of them, get your rewards and all that. So you follow Letho, you do the quest, you help him out, and by sticking with him, he will show up at Kaer Morhen. It's kind of disappointing as far as I'm concerned that you can get him, you can do this quest after you know that the Wild Hunt is going to be coming for Ciri and you're going to have this big climactic battle at Kaer Morhen. It's kind of disappointing to me that you don't have a real dialogue between Geralt and Letho about the Wild Hunt, considering his previous role in terms of dealing with the Wild Hunt. That's disappointing. And it's also kind of disappointing that outside of one very specific and epic line...
Some old friends.
What's this whoreson doing here?
We need him.
You might have forgotten what he did. I haven't.
I'll keep an eye on Letho.
And I'll behave, I promise.
Watch this murderer and you won't be watching the enemy. Why is the Kingslayer so important?
Eridan's a king, ain't he?
Fuck you both.
That outside of that, and it's pretty great, right? Isn't it? Really, it shuts Roach up. But outside of that, there's Letho's role at Kaer Morhen isn't really that great. I mean, he shows up, but it's like, you know, we in A Witcher 2 he mentions like, the Viper Skull's like we were meant to solve the mystery of the Wild Hunt, and he's just basically a grunt, which doesn't do him any favors as a character. But he shows up, fights side by side. He says some epic lines, some nice solid lines, and it's something, right? It's something for him. I personally would have wanted more, a heck of a lot more, considering that he's probably one of the best written characters that CD Projekt ever made for any of their games. When I say made, I'm saying one of their unique characters, a character that they personally created from scratch. Not something they adapted, not something they took from the books and represented the video game form. No, something their actual writers created on their own with a new background. And that's Letho of Galit. So kind of disappointing, could have been a lot more. But that's how you acquire Letho of Galit for the Battle of Kaer Morhen from The Witcher 2 to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Costin here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications so you're aware when I'm uploading new content.
That was tough.
We managed.
Thanks for helping.
You're welcome.
Would you consider staying at Kaer Morhen?
It'd be nice. At least for a while, till I figure out what's next.
Agreed. Do it.
Witchers never die in bed.